In this movie, I'll be looking at two formulas for circles. Circumference, which is the distance around the outside, and area, which is the amount of space it contains inside. And by the way, the aim here isn't to prove these formulas, it's just to give you a rough idea of what they actually mean. First, circumference. Here's a circular pond and its diameter is 10 meters. And here you are, represented by this little star. Let's suppose you decide to walk once around the pond, just like this. How far do you think you will have walked? Well, clearly more than 10 meters, but how much more? Would you say between 10 and 20 meters, between 20 and 30 meters, or perhaps more than 30 meters? Have a guess now and we'll see how close you got. In fact, most people tend to underestimate how far it is around a circular shape. The actual distance is just over 30 meters. It turns out that regardless of the size of your circle, the circumference is always roughly 3 times as big as the diameter. Actually, the true value is slightly more than 3. Something like 3.1416 in fact. And this is the number pi, which is a Greek letter written like this. So if you call the circumference of the circle C and the diameter D, here's the formula that connects the two. C equals pi times D. And remember that pi is a number slightly bigger than 3. Now, how about the area of a circle? Well, here's a circle, and to keep things simple, this time I'll give my circle a radius of 1 meter. How can I make a good guess of this area? I'll start by fitting the circle inside a square. Now, I can find the area of the square exactly. It can be sliced up into 4 small squares, and each of these is 1 meter squared. That's 4 meters squared, usually written like this. Clearly, the circle is a bit smaller than this. Let's guess roughly 3/4 the size of the square. 3/4 of 4 is 3, so a reasonable estimate for the area of the circle is roughly 3 meters squared. But that was really just a bit of a guess. The true value is something like 3.1416, which is our old friend pi. So here's the correct formula. The area of a circle, which I'll call A, is found first by finding the radius, we'll call that r, square it, and then multiply by pi. And here it is, area A equals pi times r squared. And I'll put that alongside the first formula that I looked at for the circumference of the circle, C equals pi times the diameter D. And remember that I haven't proved these formulas, I've just tried to give a rough idea of what they mean and how this mysterious number pi seems to tie it all together.